Hi, everyone. This is Berin Romagnolo, and I head the business immigration practice here at ArentFox Schiff. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. It's just a quick afternoon break. It's the first episode of our LinkedIn Live series called Berin's Business Immigration Breakdown. And it's just going to be a quick 15-20 minutes to talk about the new and noteworthy in the business immigration world. Today's topic is the new Department of State visa program that will allow H-1B visa holders, some of them at least, to be able to renew their visas while staying in the US instead of having to go abroad. That is a huge benefit to both employers and their H-1B employees. So it's a good topic to go over together today. My contact information is in the LinkedIn comments. Please feel free to email me any questions. Email is preferred over LinkedIn comments because it keeps your information confidential and it keeps the flow of this moving since it's just a quick afternoon break, 15 minutes or 20 minutes or so. Also in the comments, there are some helpful links that are relevant to this topic. Feel free to check them out. They will give you more information on how to find and pursue this new visa program that they're instituting next week. Since 2004, the United States has decided to only allow H-1B visa holders to renew their visas abroad, US consulates or embassies abroad. That has caused quite a bit of a problem for both employers and their employees because that means sometimes you can't get a visa appointment when you need it. And if you don't have a visa appointment, you can't leave to go to important business meetings or events abroad. So that would mean for employers that their employees can't pursue big pitches or conferences or conventions or business meetings abroad. Employees can't go abroad to see family members because they can't get a visa appointment on time. Or alternatively, if they can get a visa appointment, sometimes employees are stuck abroad for months because they go into administrative processing, which can take months to overcome while you're waiting abroad for your visa. That has put employers in the US in a bad position where they have staffing problems. They thought this employee was going to be abroad for maybe a week or 2 weeks, and now they're abroad for 3, 4, 5 months, maybe even longer. And how do you deal with that? Do you let them work abroad while they're stuck abroad? That brings about a whole set of different problems. That has tax problems, that has employment problems. Or do you just let someone else fill their job while they're abroad? And if they let someone else fill their job, maybe the employee that's abroad loses their job. So this visa system since 2004, where they had to apply abroad, has brought about a lot of problems. So this new visa program that's starting next week is a big improvement for employees and employers. The program starts next week, Monday, January 29th. It will go through April 1st, 2024. So it's a limited time and it's limited in eligibility. It is a very narrow category of H-1B visa holders that can take advantage of this program. I'll give you the most relevant, the key factors that determine who's eligible for the program. You have to be an H-1B visa holder, not H-4s, not any other visa category, at least for now. You have to have an H-1B that is either still valid, the visa, or it's expired within the last 48 months. The most narrowing criteria, the hardest to meet criteria, is that your most recent H-1B was either issued in Canada between January 1st, 2020 and April 1st, 2023, or in India between February 1, 2021 and September 30th, 2021. Let me say those dates again. That's the most narrowing, limiting criteria you have to be aware of. Your most recent H-1B has to have been issued by Canada, January 1, 2020 to April 1, 2023, or in India from February 1, 2021 to September 30, 2021. You have to be in H-1B status actively, still working for your H-1B employer. You have to be maintaining H-1B status. So there are two documents that you need to check to make sure you meet this criteria. Your I-94 record, which is a record that CBP maintains for every entry and exit from the United States. That document must say that you are in H-1B status and still valid, and your most recent approval notice, your I-797. That still must be valid. You must have had all 10 fingerprints done by a Department of State, US Consulate, or Embassy abroad before, which you have if you have an H-1B. You must make sure that your H-1B visa, the most recent one, does not say clearance received on the bottom left corner of it, or anywhere on it, but it's usually on the bottom left corner. You have to make sure you were never previously refused a visa. Because if you are, then you're not eligible for this program. So those are the most relevant criteria you have to meet to be able to meet this new Department of State program. Let me tell you why they're saying that it's limited to H-1B visa holders. They think that they have a workflow issue in the Department of State here in the United States. They think they don't have enough manpower, person power, I should say, to be able to process all different visa categories. They would have to train all their workers on all different visa categories if they were going to open it up to different visa categories. So they're starting with H-1B so they can train their workforce here in the US on just the H-1B criteria and then go there. It's also because it's the most common work visa categories that it will benefit the greatest group of people. So they're starting with only H-1Bs, not family members H-4s or any other visa category. They are limiting it to just Canada and India because they're saying that that is a good representation of the global H-1B population. How do you take advantage of this new visa program? What are the steps involved? Let me give you those. First, you have to log into the website that's on the comments in the LinkedIn post, and it's a navigation tool that will go through all the eligibility criteria. It is a self-assessment. The Department of State will not pre-assess whether or not you're eligible for the criteria for this program, but they'll give you the questions to self-assess whether you're eligible. You go through that navigation tool, and at the end, if you have met all the criteria, it will give you the link to the next step, which is the DS-160 visa application form. You have to fill out that form and submit it online. It's an online form, and you can only submit it during their application program open dates. Those are very specific dates. They're all on Mondays. It's once a week, every Monday, starting this upcoming Monday, January 29th. So it's Monday, January 29th, Monday, February 5th, Monday, February 12th, Monday, February 19th, and the last one is Monday, February 26th. The application opens up on each one of those Monday mornings. It didn't give me a specific time. I don't know what time on Monday morning. I would log in as early as you can and keep on trying because it is first come, first served. They only allow about 2,000 spots for Canadian issued H-1Bs and about 2,000 spots for Indian issued H-1Bs. And as soon as they hit the 2,000 application mark for each one of those, the application portal closes and it's locked until the following Monday. So go in early on those Mondays and try to get a slot if you're eligible. Once you're in there and you submit your DS-160 online, it will give you the link to pay the visa fees. It's $205. You pay that online as well. And then you follow the instructions that the portal will give you online on how to mail in your physical documents. For example, you have to mail in your physical original passport because they will put the visa into the passport. You have to mail in a passport style photo that they will use for your new visa. The photo guidelines are in the comments in the LinkedIn post, so you can see what kind of photo you need and the requirements for that photo. You have to make sure you have at least one blank page in that passport that you mail in because they need a blank page to put in the new visa. You have to mail in your DS-160 confirmation page, the confirmation page that you really submitted your DS-160 visa application form. Your I-94 record that will show that you're an active H-1B status. Your proof that you paid the fee, that $205 fee, and your most recent H-1B approval notice to show that you're, again, an active H-1B status. That list will be provided to you in the portal. They'll tell you what to mail in, and they'll tell you where to mail in and how to mail it in. So you mail in all of those documents. Then you wait. They're saying it's taking about 6 to 8 weeks, or they think they're targeting 6 to 8 weeks from when they receive your documents to be able to process your new visa. They are targeting also to finish this entire program by May 1st or earlier if they can. There is no way to expedite the processing. What that means is if you can't wait 6 to 8 weeks, you have more urgent travel, it might be faster to do an in-person interview or interview waiver at a US consulate abroad. So there is in the comments in the LinkedIn post a link for the site that you can go to check visa wait times at different consulates across the entire world. And you can put in the country and the city that you're going to be in to see what the visa wait time is to book an appointment there. It might be faster to just do it that way. But if you have 6 to 8 weeks, then you don't have to go anywhere. You can just do it here. If you submit it on the portal and then you find out that you have an important business travel or something happened with your family and you need to go, you can withdraw your application. You can withdraw your application and they will mail back your documents. So you get your passport back. You can't leave until you get your passport back. I don't know how fast that's going to be. I would leave it at least a week for them to mail back your passport and your original documents. But then you can book your own appointment and go abroad for that urgent travel that you have if you can't wait the 6 to 8 weeks. If you don't meet this program, you can still follow the old system, which is applying at a US consulate abroad. How do you do that? Well, go to that website that's in the comments of the LinkedIn post to see the visa wait times. Pick the city where you're going to be, where there's a US consulate abroad, and see what the visa wait time is. See if you are eligible for an interview waiver. The interview waiver bookings are typically much faster than the in-person interview bookings. So see if you are eligible for an interview waiver. Interview waiver eligibility, the main criteria is that you have a visa that is valid now, or it's going to expire or has expired in the last 48 months, that you are applying for a visa in the same category or another category, but not B. You can't be applying for a B renewal. Or your last visa could not have been a B. And you have to make sure you were never denied a visa in the past, and you can only apply in the country of your birth or nationality. If you can book an appointment with interview waiver, I would go ahead and do that. It's typically much faster. If you can't, then you book an in-person appointment and you go to that appointment. When you're booking your appointment, after you file your DS-160 visa application form, on the confirmation page, there will be a link that says, do you want to create a family application? So you can click that and then do the next DS-160 for your next family member and just link them all that way so that you all apply for your visas at the same time. If you don't do it that way at the DS-160 confirmation page, you can still link them together and have a family appointment by paying all the fees together. When you go to the link to pay for your visa fees, you can pay for your whole family together, and then everyone will go to the same appointment together, and that makes it much easier. Applicants that are under 14 or over 79 do not need to show up in person for interviews. They are exempt from the in-person requirement. What documents should you bring with you to these interviews? You should bring your DS-160 confirmation page. You should bring your fee receipt confirmation page, your interview appointment booking confirmation page. Bring your original passport, again, with at least one blank page in it, and at least valid for at least 6 months beyond the duration that you want to stay in the United States. Bring your passport style photo. Again, the guidelines for that are in the comments to the LinkedIn post. Bring, if it's a work visa, then bring an employment letter that's dated within 2 weeks of your visa appointment that confirms that you're still actively working there in status. Bring a recent pay stub that will also show that you are still actively in the valid work visa status. If you're going to apply for a B visa, a tourist visa, or a B1 or B2 tourist or business visitor visa, you should also bring with you proof that you have ties to your home country so they know that you're going to leave the United States and go back. You have ties there. Your lease to your home, your deed to your home, insurance there, bank accounts there, your kids are in school there, you have family there, you have a car there, anything like that. You have a job there, you have a pay stub showing you have a job there. And then show your temporary intention to be in the United States. Show a round trip airline ticket, show hotel confirmations, show an itinerary on what you're going to be doing here, show a Disney reservation or whatever it is you're going to be doing, a conference reservation, an itinerary for a training that you're going to be attending or conducting. Bring those two pieces if you're going to be doing a B tourist visa or business visitor visa. What are some considerations to think about if you have to follow this application abroad procedure for both the employee and the employer? Well, like I said at the beginning of this, you might be stuck abroad for many months. That's a problem for both the employee and the employer. It's a staffing problem. It's an operational problem. It could be a work flow problem, a tax problem, if they're going to work abroad, there has to be open communication between the employer and the employee to make sure that you know if they're working abroad, because that could trigger a big tax consequence of the company in the country in which they're working. So if every country across the world generally has a tax treaty with the United States that says how many days that company can engage a worker in any capacity, employee or contractor, in that country before that company now has created a permanent establishment there and is liable to taxes for that in that country for the corporate taxes, business taxes. So there should be open communication with the employees to make sure you know where they are physically and whether they're working abroad so that you don't open yourself to that tax liability. Foreign countries have their own foreign employment laws. So if someone is working physically in another country, that country's employment laws will govern that employment situation. Make sure you understand if someone is working abroad while they're stuck there so that you know that you're complying with whatever laws are relevant to you in that particular situation. The best way to handle it is to always book your appointment before you leave the United States. Make sure you plan ahead, at least maybe 2 months if you can, at least 1 month if you can, so that you know that you're able to book an appointment for your visa before you leave the United States, so that you have time built in on your trip for your visa appointment, and then at least a week after the appointment to get your passport back with the visa in it. Plan ahead as much as you can. If a visa is denied, there's no appeal typically for that. You typically just reapply. And there typically is no prejudice to reapply. You can apply the same category, you can apply a different category. Every visa application is supposed to be looked at fresh as it's a new application. Well, that is a very first quick look at the new visa program and the alternatives if you can't use the visa program on how to apply abroad for a visa. I hope you found it helpful. Thank you very much for joining me for the quick little afternoon break. We hopefully will have some more of these LinkedIn Lives to help you with the new and noteworthy in our Berin's Business Immigration Breakdown series. Check out the comments. My email is there. Email me any questions you have. I'm here if you need me. Thanks.